In this video, we're going to take a look at string functions. And what I mean with string functions is that we can call a function on a string, a variable that we defined which is of type string. So let's go to our code, and we have got all these kind of strings here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type the variable, and I'm going to use the full name too for now, and type a dot. And if we type the dot, we can see what the options are, and with functions we can use, but also some variables, which is like the is empty, or the length, or hash code. I don't know where that is, but still it's available. So what we can do now is let's print out some lengths. So let's print out the length of the first name, dot length, semicolon, print out the length of the last name or the surname, and let's run it. So the first one is 3, so 1, 2, 3, and the next one is 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The space is also a character, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 8. So there are many other things we can do, and this is one of the more interesting maybe, but also very simple. So we're going to take this full name too, and we're going to say uppercase it. Okay, I did something wrong there, so dot, and let's go below. It's still uppercase. And these two brackets behind this means that it's a function, but it has no input parameters. So if you click on it, you can see that it converts all characters in the string to uppercase. So let's run it. And as you can see, everything is written out in uppercase. But if I print out now the full name to itself, do you think it's uppercase or it's still the way it was? So let's check it out. Let's run it. And as you can see, it's still the way it was before we used the uppercase. And that's because this function doesn't set the value of our full name to. It's just going to give us our uppercase representation of what's inside the full name to. We could do the same with to lowercase and press run. And as you can see now, these F, C, and G are gone and are lowercase. So these are the simpler functions. We've also some others which are a little bit more difficult and use some inputs. So what we can do is we take a look at what we get, and let's take a look at index of. So it explains a little here. So it returns the position of the first match of pattern in the string starting at the start. So what this means is with these block brackets, they say that the input isn't needed. So we could only give in the first input, which is the pattern, or it's just a string. But we could also give in a new regex, and this is something different which is outside the scope of this tutorial. But still, if you want to look at it, then you can use regex or rag, just like here, the first 5 characters here. So what we can do now is we have here a full name too, and we know that there's somewhere fan inside. So let's take fan, and if we run it now, we have to put that inside quotes. Now it's fine. If we run it now, we're going to get back the first index of this fan. So this means that this v is on index 14. So let's check it out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So how does this work? The index is at 14 because the first index is 0. So you have to subtract 1 from the length if you want to know the index of the last character. So let's take a look at a function which is a little bit more difficult, which actually takes 2 inputs, which is the full name and the substring. So we have a start index and end index, And what the substring does is, if we click on here, is we can get a certain piece of text out of our string, which is between certain indexes. So as you can see, we have a start index, which is not optional, and we have our end index, which is. So if we put now here from 5, then it's going to give us back the string, which is after index 5. So let's run it. And it says that aim double dot gets my goal. So let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to give back everything behind the 5th index, included with the 5th index itself, which is the A. So that works fine. But if you now say 8, so comma 8, which is for the end index, then we should get back a tinier string, which is the just aim. So these are string functions. If you want to look it up, you can also go here, dart class string, and then you get the string class dart code library. And dart code library is the one library you are always using. So this dartpad is also using the dart code library, but because it's mandatory, it's not an import or anything. So here you can see the string class and some examples, but also we have constructors, which we're going to talk about later on in this tutorial. We have properties and also these methods or functions, which you want to call it. And that's it for this lesson. The next we're going to look at our booleans.